Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is your host Dhananjay, and today we are diving into a very important and very powerful editorials from the newspaper The Hindu. So, coming to the first editorial, the name of the editorial is The New Normal After Pahalgam, the India's Response. So, what happened in Pahalgam? So, let's start with April 22, 2025. A terrorist attack took place in Pahalgam, Jammu and Kashmir, and the nation was shocked. Now, here is a question for all of you. What should a country do after such an attack? Should country talk? Should country stay silent on that or hit back? Well, our India hit back. And not just any retaliations. This one was called Operation Sindoor. So, what was Operation Sindoor? As all of you know that on May 7, India launched precision strikes on 9 key locations in Pakistan. All were linked to terror groups like LET. LET meaning is Lashkar-e Taiba, JEM, and Hizbul Mujahideen. So India made it very clear: we are hitting terrorists, not Pakistani civilians or their military. Okay, that is uh, not Pakistani military or the Pakistani people. This was not just another surgical strike; it was a calculated, large-scale, multi-target retaliations involving missiles like BrahMos, Spice 2000, and more. So here is a question for you. Do you think this kind of bold military responses is justified? Why or why not? Let me know in the comment section. Now, what happened next? A diplomacy plus escalation. So Pakistan reacted with drone attacks and missile firings over the next 2 nights. Okay. India also responded again, hitting air bases across Pakistan from north to south. This got very tense, and the world started watching it now. The US initially said it won't get involved, but later stepped in behind the scenes when it sensed nuclear level risks. Guys, imagine this: both the countries have nuclear weapons. One wrong move could set off huge disaster. So here is a question: what would you do if you were in charge? Let me know in the comment section. Then ceasefire, cooling things down. Okay. So finally, after phone calls between the top military commanders and some back channel diplomacy from the United States, a ceasefire came into effect on May 10. Okay. By this time, both sides had shown their strength but also understood the cost of escalations. Then the new normal, what has changed now? The meaning of new normal, what has changed now? So now here is the biggest takeaway from this editorial. The editorial tells us India has created a new normal in a counter terror. Let's break that down further. That is in 2016, we can see surgical strike. Then 2019, Balakot airstrike, and now 2025, Operation Sindoor, covering all of the whole Pakistan, not just line of control (LOC). Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi said, "We will not just go after terrorists, but also their masterminds and sponsors." That is government sponsoring terrorism. So, here's a big question for you: is this warning to Pakistan's military itself? Okay. Then the nuclear dilemma: has a fear faded? Earlier, Pakistan always used the nuclear threat as a shield, saying, "Don't mess with us or else digest. We will do something." But India is now saying, "We are not scared. We will responded. We will respond below the nuclear level, but very powerfully." So, guys, is this start of the bolder India or is it a risky game of fire? Drop your thoughts in the chat. So, what India needs next? This editorial also says for this new strategy to succeed long term, India actually needs better technology surveillance, faster intelligence to prevent the attacks, a modern air defense network, and clear independent communication with Pakistan without relying on US every time. So guys, what do you think India should focus on more military upgrades or diplomatic efforts? So to wrap up this editorial, after Pahalgam, India has set a new benchmark. No more soft reactions, no more silence. This is a new normal. That is bold, prepared, and willing to act fast and decisively. But every bold move comes with a risk, and managing those risks with power, patience, and planning is India's next big challenge. So I have questions like: do you support this new normal of India's counterterrorism strategy, or should we be prepared, focus on long-term peace building? So please comment your answer in the chat box. Then coming to the another editorial, that is the ingredient to turn around nutrition outcomes. So before going directly to this editorials, I would like to ask one question for all of you who are watching right now. Have you ever thought, even with all the schemes and food grains programs in India, why do so many people, especially women, still suffer malnutrition? So guys, let me know in the comment section. Now coming to the big pictures, India has this massive food grains programs that gives free food to almost 800 million people. That's more than population of most continents. But the sad reality is that is a malnutrition and hunger are still a serious issue in the country. And guess who suffers from the most? That is women and girls. Despite all the progress India has made economically, when it comes to nutrition, women are still left behind. Then government of India started Poshan Abhiyan. So you probably heard of Poshan Abhiyan, right? Launched in 2018. The goal was to make India malnutrition free by 2022, especially focusing on pregnant women, new mothers, adolescent girls, and small children. So long form of the portion is a Prime Minister overarching schemes for holistic nourishment. So but here is a harsh truth. The problem has not gone away. In some areas, it's actually gotten worse. So let's look at some shocking facts. Like a 57% of Indian women between the age 15 to 49 are anemic. So guys, what is anemic? So anemic refers to the condition in which a person has a lower than normal number of RBCs or hemoglobins in the blood. So what are the causes? What are symptoms of anemia? The fatigue or weakness, pale or yellowish skin, etc. And the and common causes: iron deficiency. Most common is vitamin B12, etc. Chronic disease like kidney disease, etc. Anemic. Almost one in every five women is underweight. Then fact another fact was like compare that with men, only 26% are anemic. So guys, what do you think this gap exists? Is it biology or something deeper than that? The answer, as the editor said, lies in structural and cultural issue. That is structural failures and cultural failures. What happens at a home matters most. In many households, especially poor ones, women eat last and eat the least. It's not about lack of food, it's about who gets to eat, when, and how much. Almost 49% of women in India don't even control how their own money is spent. You can see here NFHS 5 data found that 49% of women lack decision making power over how their own earnings are spent. So even if food is available, they might not get to eat enough nutrition foods. Then the real missing ingredients, that is empowerment. Okay, you can see here empowerment. The studies have shown something really interesting. When women have their own income, they are more likely to spend it on nutritious food for themselves and for their kids. Okay, so you can see here. The Nobel Prize winner Esther Duflo, Esther Duflo found that when women earn, nutrition improves. So it's not just about giving food; it's about giving women a power to choose the food. So, what do you think? Should nutritious nutrition programs also focus on incomes and job for women? That was a question. So next is work doesn't always mean freedom. Yes, more women are working today, but jobs are not great. Jobs are not great. Only 5% of women have a regular salary job. Only 5% working women held a regular salary job. Most are self-employed in low-paying, unstable work. And even then, they earn 53% less than men for similar work. So if you want to fix malnutrition, we can't just give food. We have to ensure women have good jobs, equal pay, and financial control. So which are very important. So how then comes to the picture Potion 2.0. So how can Potion 2.0 improve? This is a part of the editorial. It gives three smart suggestions. First one is set measurable target, that is real targets, that is not just for nutrition but also women's income and independence. Second one, break the silos, that is make nutrition, health and livelihood departments work together in synchronism. Then third one is make Anganwadi centers more than just a food distribution points. Let them become empowerment hub for health checkups, skill training, financial literacy, and job linkages. What is the final takeaway from this article? India cannot become malnutrition free by treating women as a just beneficiaries. We must treat them as the leaders, decision makers, as a change makers. Nutrition is not just about food; it's about freedom, power, and dignity. So, it is my question to you: what do you think is a more important, free food or financial independence, or both equally important? So, drop your thoughts in the chat or comment section. So, you should give the answer in the chat box. Okay. Then, coming to third, that is closing argument, the presidential race to undermine a settled question. This editorial is about all about governors, state bills, and the way the center latest move has raised eyebrows. But starting with this article, first I would like to ask a quick question. Do you know who has a final say on law passed by your state assembly? Is it chief minister, president, or the governor? So please drop your answer in the chat. Then let's set the scene. Imagine the state assembly has worked hard, okay, debated for weeks and passed a law that affects your life. That is maybe about education, health, or jobs. But then one person, the governor, decides to just sit on it. No approval, no rejection, just silence. Sounds undemocratic, right? That's exactly what has been happening, and the Supreme Court finally step in this April 8, 2025. What did Supreme Court say? The bench of two judges, Justice Wala and Mahadevan, gave a very clear ruling. The governor of Tamil Nadu was wrong and illegal in withholding 10 bills without any decision. The governor said, the justice said, governors and presidents cannot keep bills hanging forever. It's not their personal choice, it's a constitutional responsibility. So, guys, question for you is that should an unelected governors have the power to block or delay law passed by the elected leaders? Yes or no? So, basically, here is why this matters. This editorial: the governors are not elected by the people; they are appointed by the central government. But when they block or delay state laws, it damages federalism. That is the delicate balance between center and states. The court's judgment said the constitution doesn't give governors unlimited power, and definitely not the power to go against the will of people's representatives. So many people thought, great, finally there's a clarity, the confusion is over. But guess what the center did next? Instead of accepting the court decision and moving forward, the central government has now asked the Supreme Court again, this time through the something called presidential reference under the Article 143. So, so what is the presidential reference? It's when the president, on advice from the government, asks the Supreme Court for its opinion on a constitutional issue. But again, here is a twist, here's a problem. The question being asked in this presidential reference have already been answered by the Honorable Supreme Court in the April judgment. So why is this problem? Experts are saying this move may be a way for center to get more power indirectly through the governance and possibly delay or control laws passed by the state. Instead of respecting the clear judgment given by the Honorable Court, the center is bringing back the same issue, which may say undermine the spirit of democracy. So, guys, what do you think? Should settle legal questions be reopened just because answer was not convenient? So, what could have been done differently? The editorial says the center could have accepted the judgment and move on. If changes were needed, they could have amended the constitution legally and openly or held a meeting with chief ministers to discuss the remaining concerns. Instead, the presidential reference route looks like an attempt to hold on to power that constitution doesn't allow. So, final thought is this editorial is a reminder that democracy is not just about elections; it's about the respecting the institutions, like Honorable Supreme Court, the Constitution, and the people's will. A governor is not meant to be a political tool. They are supposed to act on advice of elected governments, not override them. So one question is: should we rethink the role of the governance in a modern democracy like India, or is the system working just fine? Let me know your views in a comment section. So it was very good articles. Then coming to the last article of today's The Hindu editorial, drinking to death. That is illicit means illegal liquor tragedies expose systemic corruptions and regulatory failures. So it's about how illicit liquor continues to kill poor people in India again and again. So guys, let me ask you first question. Have you ever heard the term Huch tragedy on the news? Let me know in the comment section if you have seen stories like this. So, what is a hooch tragedy? A hooch tragedy is when people die or fall sick after drinking illegal made alcohol, also called spurious liquor or illicit liquor. And sadly, it keeps happening in India again and again. Just last week, 23 people died in Punjab. 23 people died in Punjab, near Amritsar. But what's so shocking is that this is not new. This tragedies happens almost every year, and the reason is always the same. That is poverty, greed, and failure of the law enforcement. Then basically, who are the victims in this tragedy? Most poor people, daily wage workers, people trying to escape their stress for just one evening with a cheap drink, and in that desperate moment, they drink something that is not alcohol at all. It's poison. Now, here is a question for all of you. If alcohol is illegal in some states, does that stop people from drinking it? Let's be real. Or does it push them toward dangerous or illegal options? So, what's the reality inside the hooch? Actually, this is the most disturbing parts. Some of these bootleggers, that is the people who make and sell this illegal drink, mix in methanol. Now, methanol is not drinking alcohol; it's an industrial alcohol used in chemicals and factories. It's deadly if it's deadly if consumed. Sometimes sometimes they even mix in a weird stuff like scorpions to ferment the drink. It's disgusting and extremely dangerous. But why do they use methanol? Because of its cheapness, because it's easy to steal from factories, and because they don't care about human life and only about profit. Is there a bigger network behind this? Kind of any bigger network behind these tragedies? Yes, many times it's not just one or two bootleggers. There's a whole chain, including corrupt police officer, low-level politicians like local politicians, and methanol methanol dealers. So, persons caught selling it in the street is often the last person in the chain. The real culprits may never even be touched. So here's a tough question. Who should be punished more? That is the poor seller or powerful enablers behind the scenes. What does the law say? After big, huge tragedies, governments often says we will punish the guilty. They file charges like murder and attempted murder. But when the case finally reaches courts, many gets acquitted. Like In the 2015 Malwani case in Maharashtra, after 9 years, 10 out of 14 accused were set free, and no one was convicted under the Poison Act. So, justice is slow and often weak. So, what's the solution? The editorial says we need multiple things to prevent these tragedies. Number one, strict control on methanol. It should not be easy to steal or misuse it. We need a central rule for transporting it safely. So we have to control on methanol. Then second one, use of Poison Act. Stronger charges for using methanol in liquor. Zero corruptions. Police and politicians must be honest, not part of the problem. They fight the root causes, that is poverty, lack of education, social inequality. Because let's be honest, if people had a better life, better education, and safer choices, would they drink poison just to escape reality? This is not just a liquor problem, guys. Listen, it's a poverty problem, a governance problem, and human rights problem also. As a society, we cannot just wait for the next tragedy and offer compensation. We must break the chain from the factory to the glass that leads to these avoidable deaths. Before I end today's session, here one last question I would like to ask: should India consider discriminating alcohol in some areas to avoid black markets, or should bans stay in a place or public health? So, guys, tell me your views. I would love to read your comments. If you like this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe, and share with someone who should know about this. So, guys, stay aware, stay safe, and see you in the next time. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.